Fun with failure. Hi, my name is Dallas. I like to test for science. For my robot overlord. We've got 5 stories for you to enjoy. If you don't enjoy these stories, it can result in an unsatisfactory mark on your test and followed by death. So I hope you enjoy.
Preparing to dispense product. Dispensing product.
This happened a few weeks ago. So, it's winter, but my friend and I decided to defy the snow this beautiful sunny day. We decided to take a walk through the neighborhood where we grew up together, to catch up and talk about life. The usual stuff. As our walk is nearing its end, we get to the slope. At the slope, you have the option to either go around or to take your chances walking or running downhill. It is a bit too steep to walk downhill safely. If it's the least bit muddy or icy, it's a guaranteed slip and fall. This day is covered with fluffy snow slowly melting in the sun, so walking down safely is out of the question. My friend is turning right to walk around it. That's when I get this flashback from when we were kids, rolling down the slope, getting all dizzy and laughing uncontrollably. I say to my friend, "Hey, do you remember when we used to roll down this hill as kids? Shouldn't we do it again? Wouldn't that be nice to relive that memory?" My friend is very hesitant, but I'm now completely determined to embrace my inner child and get both of us rolling down this hill. She's complaining that the snow will soak through our clothes. I argue that we're just a few minutes from home. After a bit of convincing, we reached the decision that I would go first. I can catch most of the loose snow and create a path for her to roll in. Off we go! I throw myself down the hill. Even though rolling down the hill as an adult hurts a bit more than I remembered it as a child, I laughed loudly all the way down and reached the bottom of the slope unharmed. My friend copies my moves and we both end up lying in the snow at the bottom of the slope, laughing uncontrollably. Now you're probably thinking, how is this a TIFU story? Oh, just wait. After collecting ourselves and calming down a bit, the laughter slowly turns into giggles and we decide it's time to get up and start moving. After walking a few meters, I catch a whiff of a very unpleasant smell. By the facial expression of my friend, I see that she's smelling it too. Maybe the garbage truck just passed by, I say. As we walk on, the nasty smell is still following us, and no garbage can in sight. We start discussing if it might come with the wind from a construction site, where they were messing with the sewage system. The smell is just too strong, and we can't see any construction going on either. It finally dawns on us that we're left with no excuses. The smell is coming from us. We look at each other and at first glance we both look perfectly normal. At closer inspection, I notice something smeared on my friend's shoulder. I sniff it and my stomach drops. Dog poop. We're both completely covered with it. It's smeared from shoe level to shoulder. It's even in my hair. We both start gagging and realize that there's no way to continue this day together. We need to get home and to get sanitized as soon as possible. After picking up the speed, hoping that we won't have to face any other people out walking, we then quickly say goodbye and rush home. Once at home, just getting out of the clothes, without making the mess any worse, was a real challenge. I emptied the bathroom of everything and slowly stepped out of my clothes, coughing and gagging all this time, leaving the pile of poop-stained clothes to deal with later. I stepped into the shower. When I got to cleaning my hair, I couldn't keep it in anymore and puked all over myself, while my fingers tried to get the pieces of poop out of my curly hair. I still can't believe how the dog poop got all over. There must have been more than one log hiding under the snow. Most of the clothes I threw away immediately, but I tried to save the jacket. A new winter jacket isn't cheap, but no matter how much time I spend cleaning it, I just can't help but gag a little bit every time I see that jacket. I had a 1997 Oldsmobile Bravada that had a rough day going through the car wash. This resulted in the outside mirror on the passenger side breaking completely off. Logically, I am currently living in Germany and there are no GM dealerships or repair shops nearby. I head to the internet to order a spare. For $24, including shipping, a brand new replacement power mirror shows up at my door. I watch a YouTube video detailing how to remove the door panel, grab my tools, and get to work. I don't think to disconnect my battery or force a sensor in my dash to stay pushed in. That was my first mistake. Then, as easy as removing the door panel looked in the video, I wasn't able to reassemble it properly. Despite this, I did successfully bolt the new mirror, but not without dropping the socket between the metal walls of the door. My ingenuity led me to grab a magnet, tape it to the end of a measuring tape, and fish it back out. By this point, my dome light has been on for close to 2 hours. I try to reattach the panel and absolutely nothing lines up, including the insert to move the lock mechanism back and forth. Doesn't matter, I still put the mirror on. So, I go to start my car, which is face first into the carport, and I can't access it from the other side, to see if the power connection worked. I can't get enough power from the battery to turn the car over. I also can't get enough power to shift the gear shift into reverse or neutral to back it up and jump it with another car. Now I have a brand new mirror. I can admire it while I sit in my carport. This happened roughly at 9:30 a.m., half an hour into my 10-hour shift. I scratched the inside of my left ear with a pen. I had probably performed this action hundreds of times in the past. This time, however, the end of the pen decided to fall off inside my ear. No big deal, right? Well, I tilted my head to the side and tried to let gravity do its thing, but no dice. Next, I tried to see if there was enough sticking out that I could grab a hold of and pull it out. Still no dice. Then I noticed that the medical dean would be out of class in about 10 minutes, so I got a coworker to take my place and went up to see him. Now, for some reason, my ear had decided that every movement of my head and jaw would push this thing further and further into my ear canal. By the time the dean was available to help me out, it had already made it all the way to, essentially, rest against my eardrum. Luckily for me, the end cap was small enough that it didn't really cause me any discomfort. I needed to stay at work to finish delivering exams until about 6 p.m., and by the time I was out of work, my only options were the emergency room or an urgent care. I have medical insurance through work, so I found an urgent care center closer to home that could remove the end cap for me, but they did so at the tune of $180. Well, it turns out that my 20% copay for insurance doesn't kick in until I've met my $3,000 deductible for the year. So, I was in 10th grade and I joined a football team, thinking, maybe I can easily get a position where I get to run. At the time, I was quite a speedy person. However, I knew nothing about football. So I was clueless 90% of the class. I wasn't able to learn because all the other students were already on the team and knew everything. So fast forward a few months, we are all in the gym doing exercise games and sprints. So, finally a class where I can do something. I actually did know how to run, so run I did. I had done a few runs. 2 students race each other and are timed. It's from one end of the gym to the other. There are big thick lines around the gym, maybe 3 feet from the wall on either side. Those were the markers. I had been getting some attention from the teacher. He and myself wanted me to race against the running back that was already on the team. So I know I can beat him, because ever since I'd realized I was fast, there's been very few people that could beat me. So, confident that I could beat him, we took off. And man, he was fast. So we were both hauling butt across the gym. I was sprinting as fast as I could, and the only way that I could win was, unfortunately, not slowing down. I absolutely wanted to win, because I hadn't been able to shine in this class at all, and this was my time. So, I full on sprint, straight into the brick gym wall. I did win, I guess. The price for victory is that it hurt really, really bad. With all the adrenaline from sprinting and the pain, it helped hide most of my injuries. I could walk around and move my arms for a few minutes before it got too bad. No one in the class really cared, not even my teacher. So, at that time I was like, alright, this isn't okay. I'm gonna call my dad. So my dad came and we went to the hospital. I had fractured both my elbows. The left one was far worse, and sprained both of my wrists. So for a long time my football class was sitting down doing nothing, or skipping class. I wasn't able to do much with my arms for a long time, and it was winter at the time, so walking around outside on the ice was a nightmare. But I'm good now. I'm going to preempt this by saying that I'm typing this with a wrist brace on, so my spelling might not be the best. So, earlier today we decided that our dog was finally trained enough to warrant showing off to Dad, who's always been skeptical that she could be trained adequately or not. We took her out into the unfenced front yard, and she just wandered around doing dog stuff. At this point, the FwF was set up perfectly. I had just come out wearing rollerblades, determined to get some practice and learn how to properly do that. Are rollerblades even cool anymore? Were they ever? After I started down the road, my dog must have thought it would be okay to go with me and promptly shot down the road at maximum English pointer speed, albeit she is a mixed breed. This is where the FwF actually happened. I chased her on rollerblades, and I'm not actually good at. I actually managed to catch up with her as she was sniffing around the neighbor's driveway. I thought it would be a great idea to try to grab her while she was distracted. I got about 2 fingers around her collar before she took off, dragging me down into the gravel driveway and slipping out of my grasp. My chin, knees, and hands were all scraped raw and bloody in patches, and my wrists are probably sprained. I hope it's not broken. That would be the 4th time. I shouted down the road to my mom to grab the car as I hauled myself back to my still-wheeled feet and slowly rolled back home. As it turns out, I split my chin open at the tip and partway down the underside of my head, and now my tiny little patch of a beard is covered with a large bandage. The real kicker is that I wasn't wearing any safety gear at the time because I didn't think I'd be chasing a runaway dog. But I wore the wrist braces, otherwise I might have broken a couple of fingers instead of just spraining my wrist. Update. And as I was writing this, a smug little pup ran back up to the front deck and scratched on the door to be let in. God dang it. Welcome back. Hope you enjoyed those videos. If you did, give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more videos. I'm gonna get back to testing. They said there's cake involved.
Thank you.